Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we're back with another exciting episode of Hearts of Iron 4 Fascist America. Where we last left off, we'd finally prepped ourselves and are ready for going to war against Cuba. First things first, before we start the war, we need to go over and send a diplomat to Venezuela saying, "Hey, fascist Venezuela, how about we create a faction?" I think that is going to be a great idea, and they will thankfully accept. So as I've said before, we are going to be forming the American League of Fascists, or ELF. Watch out, ELF is going to be coming to get you. So there we go. Even free American empire, famed for its faith in the strength and superiority of its people and nation, is not beyond forming alliances with those they respect. William Dudley Pelley announced today that the final agreements have been made about the ALF, a military coalition which purportedly room only for honorable nations destined for greatness. Slightly awkwardly worded sentence there. Whether this greatness is intended to come from building the ideal society within the borders of the respective nations or by working together to expand them, the world may not know until it is too late. Together, we'll never be defeated. The glorious, strong American-Venezuelan alliance is set and ready to make this war a real thing. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust the sound in my head, because I wasn't hearing a thing. And I'll probably have to change it back down once the fighting starts, but that's okay. I will make do. And as for national focuses, which we should probably look at doing, we could, of course, continue building up our industry, and of course getting that extra research slot is a very good idea. I'm not going to argue with that, but I feel like with the creation of ALF, and with America finally stepping foot in its more aggressive geopolitical nature, it might be time to reaffirm the Monroe Doctrine, for reasons that, you know, we should just make the rest of the nations feel confident that we have their best interests at heart, despite the situation going on in Cuba. Speaking of the situation going on in Cuba, I think we're ready to order the 1st Marine Corps to engage and ship across. They do have a few units sitting ready and waiting, so hopefully the Marines can take a hold of Havana right away. We can get the 1st Army across and in. Let's find out. We might want to just slow this down to speed 3. And the invasion has begun. So as you can see, we've got air support and a stacking penalty because I don't really understand how to set up nations, you know, for attacking efficiently. But I figure, you know, we're throwing enough men at this problem, we'll probably win. They are dug in, but as you can see, their organization is nowhere near where it needs to be. So that's good. We'll just let that go. Obviously, we're handing out tons of damage with all the planes we got flying overhead. We've got our shore bombardment, and we're just cleaning up. Cleaning up, hardly taking any damage, and bam, just like that, we've got Havana. Can't beat that at all. Now, we are going to have the poor Marine Corps on the defensive right now, but I don't think the Cubans are going to be able to hit back all that easily, so we might as well send the 1st Army in. And Cuba's ready to surrender already. That was so fast. Much faster than I was expecting. So we're just going to take all their states. That's it. That's our demands, and we will finish that. And there we go. So that was a very quick war. We can tell these guys to abort, please. There we go. Okay, good. And we'll leave them in Miami for now. There's really no point into not doing that. What I will do is have the 1st Marine Corps garrison Cuba for now. They're not going to remain as the garrison forever. But for now, they can keep the peace in Cuba, and that'll be just fine. We did get 1 extra shipyard out of this whole ordeal, so we might as well dump that in on the Virginia that's a while away, set for the Pacific Fleet, of course. And we won't order another one. We'll wait on that. Looks like we've got all of our production set there. We're still a ways away from getting the infantry equipment, so we're fine for that. We can cancel, actually, these air missions, because those aren't going to be all that useful. We can take a look at the Cuban airbase of 1,000, which isn't bad. I was expecting that to be a whole heck of a lot worse. How's our infrastructure in Cuba? We'll want to get that up to probably, well, we're going to want to get that up higher than 5. 5 there is fine for now. We might as well get some radar installations set up on the island as well. After all, we do have them going on in Puerto Rico, so we might as well. That war was surprisingly quick. I'm impressed. We can send the Caribbean fleet back to base. We can send the Atlantic fleet back to base. And we might as well send the ass home as well. Come on. There we go. Lovely. Easy, easy, easy. So, you know, now we're really just going to be waiting for the production of all of the rest of our units. Again, we don't necessarily need them right away, but building them up is a good idea. So we'll get the fleets back home, and everybody's heading back home nicely. We got the Marine Corps spreading out amongst Cuba, which is great news. What's the port here? Level 1 in Guantanamo and a level 3 in Havana. I would like to get those up to both level 5. We will probably be using Cuba for a lot of staging of naval invasions and having 2 ports, one close to Mexico, one obviously close to Hispaniola, Jamaica, and you know, the rest of the Caribbean islands is a good idea. Romania has been forced to give in to an ultimatum from the Soviet Union. The territories of Bessarabia have been passed to Soviet control, and the Romanian state is left with its borders diminished. I would suggest severely diminished. It remains to be seen how Romania will avoid further losses. And in fact, if we take a look at poor Romania, oh well, they're still pretty big. That's not bad, you know. They'll probably lose a fair amount to Hungary, but after massing forces along the Romanian border, they've pushed their ultimatum even further, I guess. We'll see what comes of that. The Western Front looks relatively stable on the Italian border, and the Germans are now finally pushing back against the Netherlands. I would imagine they will fall shortly. How's our political power generation? Still pretty low. That's fine. We've got some free military factories. We should probably look to spending those on something. And that something should probably be some more tactical bombers and some more fighters. I think that's a very good idea. We've got quite a few naval bombers, carrier-based naval bombers in reserve. We could probably afford to swap these guys out to something, although we will be getting a new set of fighter equipment or plane equipment coming in relatively soon. But I suppose we could swap this over to, say, flying fortresses. Might not be a bad idea. Or, of course, we could dump it into fighter production as well. But, you know, again, currently, our Air Force isn't needing all that much. Is there anything else we could build? Not really, huh? I mean, we're going to need... We are going to need another production line of infantry weapons once the research is done. So maybe we'll... Nah, we'll keep it like this. Bombers and fighters are good to get, so we'll get them. I think that makes sense. Luxembourg has joined the Allies. That's not really that big of a surprise. I think we should probably find a new port for ass. We will base them out of... Oh, there we go. We'll base them out of Philadelphia. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. We'll base them out of Philly. And that'll be nice for them. The legionary Romanians have joined the Axis. We're nicely... Why are we taking attrition here? Just get to Guantanamo. I guess that's Guantanamo. This is not. So that's where the Cuban shipyard is. Suppose we could also increase our shipyards a little bit, too. That might not be a bad idea. What do we got? 4, 7? We could probably build 7 shipyards. Right? I guess it does cut into factories, doesn't it? Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That'll be good. So that way we can do something like that and get our ships produced even faster, which will be absolutely lovely. Right. So, with Cuba in our hands, obviously we're going to want to get the rest of the Caribbean secured. However, I'm going to want probably another corps of Marines. Let's get the rubber from the UK. I don't think starting a trade with the Netherlands or France at the moment is going to be all that good of an idea, so we'll just take care of it like that. And yeah, let's start looking at what we're going to have to do to get this island under control as well. Or not. No, here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to drop you down. We're going to form a new army and call you the 1st U.S. Armored. And it pains me as a Canadian to not use, but, you know, it is what it is. We're America, we might as well roleplay their bizarre spelling rules. And I guess we might as well drop those guys in and get these guys going as the 2nd U.S. Army. There we go. And we'll worry about giving the 2nd U.S. Army a general when we really need to. You can go ahead and join in there. And, yeah, you know what? Let's just drop everybody in, shall we? You guys should come along pretty quickly. Although I guess maybe you're waiting for more motorized. Well, we'll get them in there soon. Then we can get those guys training up. What we should also look at doing is getting our manpower replaced, because we're in a bad spot for manpower, as everyone can clearly see. So we'll bank up the political power and get that switched over. It looks like Germany has declared war on the Swiss as well. They're really making a gamble for Europe. We'll see if it pays off. In the meantime, I'm going to be back when I've got something exciting to share. Maybe German interest in Scandinavia? Possibly. Their rhetoric has intensified towards the northern countries in recent weeks. The message is clear: Denmark and Norway must in no way, whether by opposition or inaction, hamper German imports. While there is no immediate, obvious cause for such demands, as imports are still flowing freely to Germany, our diplomats worry that this is a prelude to German action in the region. We shall have to keep our eyes on it for the future. In the meantime, I'll see you guys when I got something exciting to share. See you in a bit. Alright, so a couple months have passed. We've saved up enough political power to finally get rid of our volunteer-only army. And we're going to swap that over to limited conscription. Eventually we'll get up to extensive conscription. And I think that's as far as we will want to go. Anything past that, we're going to start hitting production issues. And really, America's going to have a big enough population that we shouldn't need anything more than 5% of the population. Even just getting, 2.5% got us 660,000 men, which is going to be great because we can finally slap a crew in the Virginia ships that we're building. The nice thing is this ship has been completed. We're just waiting. So I can actually queue up 2 more of these bad boys. Let's get those done. And again, we will go Pacific Fleet, Atlantic Fleet, and we'll fill those guys up, which should be good. We'll only need one each. So 2 of those super heavy battleships are going to be coming in. That'll be very, very nice. We got all of them in, so that means we can probably, hopefully, fix our manpower issues in the troop training, so we can get the second army up. You can see I've changed the color coding of my forces. So green are going to be infantry armies, blue are obviously the Marines, and reds will be armored. Now, yes, before all of you guys come along and start commenting that, hey, History Nerd, your armored armies don't have any armor, the plan will change. Don't you guys worry. We do have the Lee, so the medium tank, researched, and we're going to be ready to start production on them. I have added in some more military factories because we got one from Cuba. So that, you know, means we need 4 more to even things out. And so I've started a production line of B-17 Flying Fortresses to get some of them built. Because why not? I mean, we could use bigger bombers. That seems like a great idea. I don't think we need to keep too much in the way of political power going. So we could try going... Let's just give this a pause. We could try... I mean, this doesn't really help us. We don't want to be sending volunteer forces, although it will help, obviously, with, you know, military army experience and getting, you know, good things to happen. I think perhaps what might be better is to actually start influencing our neighbors to get them some daily fascism gains. Because why not? It seems reasonable to me. What else? We're researching the computer and the improved radar systems. We don't have any construction systems to go for 1940s tech, so that's fine. If it's going to take us 64 days to get the Mitchell researched, we might as well start researching the Mitchell. And then we can start also lend-leasing stuff to our European friends. Speaking of Europe, we can see that the United Kingdom has, as expected, launched a rather successful invasion of Italy, but we'll see how long they can hold on to it. Luxembourg has fallen. The Netherlands aren't doing so hot either. And really neither is Belgium. The Swiss are pretty much overrun by the Italians. But thanks to Britain, the Italians have a bit more to worry about. And in Africa, we can see the Germans have made a little bit of gain from French territory, but otherwise, well, the Italians are definitely pushing in the north. We'll see if they're able to successfully take over an entire continent, basically. It's a pretty tall order. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off. Finland and the Soviet Union did go to war briefly, but it was a white peace. The Soviets decided that it probably wasn't going to be worth it to, you know, continually attack there. Let's get those guys in so we can get them training as well. We might as well get you a general. General Mark Clark. I like rhyming names, so congratulations. You got nobody training, and that is fine. Because, well, I mean, I guess with this much manpower, we could just go for another army group, right? We'll put you, oh, why not? Let's put you in Texas. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2 of those. 3rd U.S. Army set to be deployed. We'll probably want 4 for the push into Mexico. Oh, and we need... That's right. We'll get you guys set up, oh, I don't know, in the Carolinas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. We'll get the Marines, 2nd Marines trained up in one fell swoop. So with 3 different armies training, we should start getting some good army experience, although it is still going to take a while for us to be able to edit the Garrison Brigade to actually get them some military police. And then we can start shifting them over into Cuba and training up more for Hispaniola. And that really is about it. What I could do to save a little bit of manpower is drop those guys out. Why not? And with the Mitchell coming along and us really not looking to start a fight anywhere, looks like the Germans have decided to push into Scandinavia. German rhetoric has intensified towards the northern countries in recent weeks. The message is clear. Denmark and Norway must in Norway. Yeah, it's the same thing. We'll see how many times the Germans have to do that. In the meantime, in between time, let's speak to our British friends who aren't really keen on us and see if maybe, just maybe, we can convince them that we're all right by perhaps sending them... let's see. We might as well get rid of all of our older bombers first. So we will send them 204 B-18 bombers. That seems like a good thing to do. So let's send those off. And to make sure we play the sides correctly here, we will talk to the Germans and say, hello, Germany, what do you guys probably want? Well, knowing their leanings, I would imagine we could probably do to send them... We want to send them some P1 Hawks? I don't think so. I think instead we'll send them... Oh, I don't know. 10,000 rifles. Well, we've got no... The Germans have no convoys, so that's not going to happen. Maybe Italy? Italy could probably do with an air force of... What was that? 384? Oh, you can only do 17, can you? Well, that's not good. That's only about, what, 170? 210, right? That's the best we're going to do? All right, you guys can get 210 P1 fighters. So there we go. We're getting rid of all of our old junk, and that's basically the plan, is to sell all our crap to the Allies. Which means, oh, Canada, you guys could probably do to get some Lend-Lease equipment here too. I would imagine 10,000 rifles would, well, maybe not 10,000. What, 9,500? There we go, 9,500 rifles. There you go. Look at that. See, we're helping both sides here. In fact, we could probably go to another Axis nation, like say Hungary here. Well, no, we're not going to be able to do that because Hungary's not at war with anybody. So we could send Japan some stuff too, but I think leaving it there for now will be good. At least, you know, we're showing both sides. We're still open for business, and really that's all that matters. Well, looks like Italy's getting a bit of a push on, getting through southern France. And is Spain involved in the war here too? My God, it is. Start a Lend-Lease for the Spanish. They could probably use a couple of hundred units of artillery. Maybe 1,000? No. Maybe 380? No, far less than that. There we go, 100 pieces of artillery for the Spanish. That seems like a good idea. All right, ooh, so this means that we've got those guys in full production. That's very exciting. With our free civilian factories, though, what do we want to do with this? We've got our islands pretty well covered there. Suppose we could pepper in some more radar stations around, but I don't know. I don't really think that's necessarily a needed thing. Might as well just go for some more military factories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more military factories. We'll get those numbers up to astronomical levels. We do have the infantry guns researched, but we need 60,000 of them, so it is going to take a little while. After several conflicting reports, it has now been confirmed that Gibraltar has fallen to Germany? I'm surprised the Spanish didn't take it. This strategic port city guards the entrance to the Mediterranean, and it was widely regarded as impregnable before the war. The British garrison retreated into the tunnels running underneath the rock, but were eventually dislodged by flamethrowers and grenades. Horrible way to die. When Gibraltar in German hands, there's been a dramatic shift in the power in the Battle of the Mediterranean. That is actually a very significant development. Well done, Axis. We'll see how the UK can hold it together, if they can hold it together. Only time will tell. What else should we should probably look at getting those Marines researched up. We're going to need some aluminum. We are America, so let's make sure we say it right. And we might as well get that from Yugoslavia. Well, they'll probably wind up we'll go with Germany. There we go. All right. Well, where to next? I still think going for the rest of the Caribbean islands here would be a better idea. So let's see what we can do about that. Justify a war goal of conquering Haiti. It's like I'm playing Victoria. And we will justify a war goal of conquering the Dominican Republic as well. 21 political power is needed, huh? All right. Well, then, it looks like we'll be going for Haiti first. And we should have the 2nd Marines in place, ready to do that sooner than later. Let's get those guys added in. The 2nd Marine Corps. Unfortunately, I don't think we've got a good general for them, so we'll just leave it to Russell Hartle here, and we will make sure to give these guys a slightly more blue flavor. Perfect. And they are training. Yes, good. Training, good. Training, good. All right. Those are coming along nicely. Once those 2 factories get done, we can actually start getting in some medium tank production as well, which will be a very good thing to get, because then we can start getting our armored corps to, or our armored armies to actually be armored. Low manpower at 411,000? No, that's not low manpower. Although, granted, these ships, we'll take a look at them. The North Carolina, for instance, a crew of 9,000 men. It takes a lot to run those ships. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, we could probably do to start getting some of these guys filled out nicely. And what I would want to look for is somebody who will give us military experience while we're sitting around not doing anything. Generally, they do cost a little bit more. Or we could look to getting some kind of theorist going on here too. We could go, like I say, for somebody like a victory through air power to get some air experience, or superior firepower, mobility warfare focus. But it is pretty tough to not go for somebody like Goddard or Oppenheimer. Although we'll probably, you know what, we should really hold off and get like Omar Bradley in here, because I think just superior firepower doctrine would be best. If we take a look at our ground doctrines, mainly because we are America and this lineup has shock and awe, so we all know that that's the route we're going to go. We'll try and keep our political power growing so that I can snag Bradley, because he is expensive. What is he, 250? 250. So we gotta be patient to get him, but getting that army experience is going to be very, very handy. Let's swap over production to the new tactical bomber, the Mitchell. That seems like a good idea. And now we can start sending out our tactical bombers, which will be nice. We need a fuck ton of aluminum. I guess it's not really surprising. We are building quite a few aircraft. A free research slot, so we might as well go with... which one? We'll go with the Avenger, and then get those converted over to carrier craft. You don't really need... Although, actually, all that experience will be helpful, so let's get that started. We're still going to be gaining a little bit so we can get Bradley as our army dude. And that will be good. Production there is done. We should be building more civilian factories, quite a few more civilian factories, in fact. So let's get some tank production rolling. We'll get these guys probably there. And that'll be good. First things first, obviously, we're going to want to get, with the experience, we're going to want to get the military police in place. And then we can worry about changing up our tanks, because those are going to be slightly more expensive. Yes, that's fine. I know we're producing more medium tanks than we're using because we're not using any, but that's super groovy because having tanks in reserve is going to be nice once we start actually producing them. It's tempting. I gotta be strong and fight the urge to just click away on something. Yeah, let's get that going. And then we might as well boost our external radar grid so we can see the people's coming, if they're coming for us. And I think Ireland's joined the Allies. So you see, they don't get the US, but they get the Irish, so at least something good's coming of it. Although with the nationalist Spain being involved in World War II as well, you know, they cancel each other out. The Allies probably will be missing us, but they'll have the Soviets in theory, so you know it's not a total loss. But yeah, I guess I will. We've gone on fairly. I mean, it's a half-hour episode. That should be good enough, I guess. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys prefer longer episodes than the usual. I don't know. I don't really keep track. Well, I keep track, but anyway, I'm just rambling because there's not much going on. So we might as well end it here, and we will come back. There we go. To the next episode at a later date. So, thumbs up if you have enjoyed today's episode. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.